Hello, collective. Welcome to the Moon Report. My name is Marlene, your resident moon goddess, the modern mystic, and I am so happy as always to share space with you and talk about the energy that is heading our way with the full moon in Taurus. And also, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Pluto today. But before that, I have a few announcements. I just want to mention that I am starting my annual readings as of November 20th. This is a um, offering that I offer through first few days of January. And we get to go through the next 12 months. So it's a look of 2025. We pull a card for every month and we discuss, and then you get to pull some clarifying cards as well. It's one of my most popular readings. So many of my regulars always come back for it every year, and I'd like to invite you to explore tarot in this way and see how this could be so useful as you navigate whatever is waiting for you next year. So you can find that offering in marlenemenendez.com. I'm also going to, if you are part of Anima Collective, I will go ahead and share it in our Mighty Networks feed. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not part of the collective, what are you waiting for? Come on. Come on. It's a great place to be, full of empowered, strong, sensitive, vulnerable women who are ready to support you through your career, through your personal life, through your relationships, and all the magic that you can find in this group. So take advantage of your free trial. I believe you get a month free before you get to join the group. So it's a no-brainer, guys. Let's go. Let's go. So here we go with the full moon in Taurus. And this energy happening exact at 4:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. This is being recorded Thursday, and the exact full moon will be tomorrow, but we are already in full moon energy. Um, Full moon energy lasts 3 days after the full moon, and you can already start feeling it 3 days before and start working with the energy. And Taurus really wants you to just move on, like in the rawest sense of the phrase. You know, we are in Scorpio season and we are full on shedding what doesn't serve us in relationships, in how you show up in the world, in what you want to create, and what impact you want to make. And it's really time to, I don't want to say get serious about it, but get intentional. Like, enough of the nonsense, really. That's just a word that kept coming up as I was looking at this full moon. And I mean that in the most gracious way. Like, it takes us getting over our own shit to move on. And this is your get over your shit moment. And you may not want to see it, you may not want to look at it, you may be afraid, but you know what needs to just die, regenerate, where you need to find new ways of birthing things, and what doesn't work. And this full moon is really illuminating that. And Taurus wants to help you build and build on solid ground, not on shaky ground. The energy is shaky enough. We're going to be talking about Pluto and Aquarius, a major transit that's happening pretty much in our lifetime for some of us. So, like, some of us may not see the end of this transit, some of us may. I hope I do. Uh, and, you know, we are moving into a new age. Uranus has been a major player for us. The planet of Uranus has been really showing its face lately. And that kind of frenetic energy that Uranus can bring, it it's a playing ground of instability. It's like there's always new information. There's always sudden changes. There's always something that's surprising you and coming out of the woodwork. And that has been prominent for us most of the year. Happening in different places in our charts, meaning happening in different places in our lives. But the energy has been there and it's been constant, and it is part of this full moon as it's conjunct this full moon in Taurus. So it's opposing the sun in Scorpio. And that just means that you don't know the information completely, or there may be sudden changes to you, what you already know. There may be surprises, happening tomorrow or in the next few days. And that kind of energy just makes us feel unstable. It makes us feel volatile. But it's important for us to get uncomfortable. This is a time that it's in that discomfort and struggle that you get to really know yourself and you get real about what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want. And sometimes it takes, or most of the time, I would say, it takes us getting sick of our own shit. And here we are. The sun in Scorpio is doing its thing, and um, the two rulers of Scorpio are Pluto and Mars. So when you look at Pluto and Mars during the full moon, they're opposing each other. So this energy is again intense. Pluto is 29 degrees. So what that means is that it's at the very last degree of its placement in Capricorn. And it's going to be going into Aquarius in the next few days on the 19th, or the 20th, depending on where you are in the planet. And Mars is the planet of aggression. It's about to go into retrograde and it's driving that masculine force, while Pluto is the planet of death, regeneration, rebirth. So there is some deep transformation that is being felt on so many levels right now. And it could feel, dissolving. It could feel destructive. And if you are feeling that way, because there's a lot of us that may be feeling grief right now, and you know the world as we know it is changing, and there's some difficult things that we're having to face as a humanity. So you know it's time to take deep contemplation and slowing down within ourselves to get really real about what it is that we want to do. And it must be aligned with your purpose. It must feel good to you, or it must be calling you in some way. Um, and this illumination, these intense feelings that Pluto and Mars bring, could be channeled in a destructive way. But Taurus is reminding you that that doesn't have to be the way. That by finding balance within any situation, we can move forward into more stable ground, into more solid ground. It does take for us to look at our shadows and look at the things that are dying, um, aspects of you that may be changing. And you may be grieving certain relationships that have really been highlighted also throughout the year. All of this takes a certain level of emotional processing. So have grace, take care of yourself at every step. it's important to find some sort of routine, I want to say, or order in what you're building. We have Saturn in Pisces that goes direct tomorrow during this, on the 15th. I don't know if it's right at the full moon or a little before or after, but tomorrow. And it's reminding us that we can build our dreams, but there's a part of us that needs to have some structure around it to be able to realize things. So that's why this energy is a little bit less sobering, and it's a little bit about get real with yourself and get to the point, you know, and lift the veil of any kind of illusion. And it has that kind of quality around it, but it can be really productive for this next cycle. A full moon is the end of a moon cycle. You know, Scorpio has kind of that regenerative new cycle kind of feel. Pluto is going into Aquarius, which is going to be a whole new age. So there's a lot of the beginning and ending themes here that are at play. And I just invite you to take a look within and see where those cycles are taking place within you. So stay cautious, but not protective, not defensive. Always protect your energy, but don't be on guard because throughout whatever you're going through, um, there are gems and there are things to learn. And it's part of the way that we grow and we evolve as humans. There's a lot of value in the deep, transformative waters of Scorpio season. And Taurus shows up to help you build upon that something real, something raw. But it does take you to change the story or shift the mindset or let go of what doesn't serve your greater purpose. So you have to show up for yourself. It's time to show up and penetrate the space with love and with intention and with some structure. As I was saying, Saturn goes direct in Pisces, and Pisces is boundless and limitless and, highly spiritual. And, Saturn being here, Saturn is restrictive and it has limitations, but it provides a beautiful balance to be able to start from somewhere, you know. I invite you to maybe work with the earth during this full moon. If you're into gardening, do some gardening. If you're, you know, maybe wanting to do something magical, maybe find a ritual where you can plant a seed somewhere, you know. Um, and I know that this sounds like a new moon kind of feel, but with all these cycles ending and beginning, it's appropriate to use some good soil, right? A new perspective and honor whatever is ending and beginning in your life with planting a seed or planting something new. Also, maybe weeding things out as a practice, maybe using a little alchemy, maybe some fire, and, offer some prayers of smoke up to the Great Spirit, your source, your creator, your higher self. Whatever you feel is necessary to send the messages up to the universe, to your guides, to yourself, that you are ready for whatever is coming and you are ready to take the opportunities that you have been wanting to take to begin to create the things that you've been wanting to create. with Pluto going into Aquarius on the 19th. We're going to be talking about it for a long time. I mean, this is a transit that lasts 18 years, so it's going to be coming up. And what I do want to begin the conversation saying is that now more than ever, we as individuals need to, or not need to, but get get to go deep and lead from a place of love, presence, trust, from a heart-centered place where new leadership can be found. For all my leaders that are listening to this right now, and you know who you are because you've been hearing the calling to lead for quite some time. And all the information may not be there right now for you, but you know that the heart has heard that call. It's time to find a way to pull whatever thread you are meant to pull. It's really time to step up and create or begin to plan and strategize that impact that you want to make. Now remember, size doesn't matter. It could be a small impact. It could be a big impact. It could be a series of baby impacts until you get to the collective culminated impact that you're here to serve. Because the world as we know it is completely changing. And it's going to be slow, you know, Pluto moves slow. But it's definitely coming. And we're going to need to be very in touch with our humanity. Aquarius is the humanitarian of the zodiac, and it creates systems to benefit all. It takes a greater view, a greater approach to how we can coexist in a better way. Every sign has its shadow side. And where Aquarius is innovative and unique and new and in many ways an awakener, if it's taken advantage of in the wrong way, then it tends to be cold and detached and distant and highly technological. And it has trouble connecting its mind to its heart. There's a separation there that can happen in the shadow side of Aquarius. And we're already starting to see this divisiveness. We're already starting to see it personally in our lives, maybe within our families. And we are beginning to see, well, we are like really seeing it on a global scale. And it's been trickling in, and it is apparent that there is a huge separation in the way we believe and the way we communicate and the way we relate, et cetera, et cetera. And it's really going to take these heartfelt, these heart-centered leaders to not give up on the vision. And it's like, stay flexible. Stay flexible because there could be a rigidity to Aquarius and Pluto also as a planet. So it's important to know your vision, but stay flexible in the way that you're going to create it. Stay innovative and fresh in how you're going to approach things. We could be dealing with a lot of our nervous system diseases or conditions, a lot of anxiety, Our nervous systems could be triggered with this energy, and it's going to take new tools for us to find a way to bring ourselves back to homeostasis, to bring ourselves back into balance. So it's time to show up. It's time to show up. And the way you do that is unique to you. Showing up doesn't always look like doing. A lot of showing up for yourself is about being, and being your authentic, unique self, and bringing in that approach, normalizing that kind of energy around you. There is a lot to look forward to with this new transit. This is the beginning of what most of us have heard being called the age of Aquarius. But there is things that we need to stay aware of, because it's not utopian in all the senses. There is a balance of the light and the dark that always happens here. This is not like, oh my God, we're walking into the promised land and everything's going to change and everything's going to flow exactly the way it needs to serve all humanity. Well, that is the vision. But we still live in a dimension of polarity where we have to balance the light and the dark. And this first begins inside of us. So it's time to take responsibility, and it's time to really step into our power and lead from a place of humanity, lead from a place of the heart. So I want to leave you with that message. And this is a conversation that's going to be continued for sure. So enjoy this energy of the full moon and use the earth energy to help you build something long lasting and super, super fulfilling in your life. Take good care of you, take care of everyone around you, be well, and I will see you for the new moon. Take care.